the yield of our fields now. Pangatlo, right now, 70% na mahihirap na sa agriculture. That is why this must be addressed. But, nanineglect natin yung other crops. For example, yung coconut. Ang pinakamahirap na farmers nasa coconut and yung mga isda. This must be given top priority dahil maliwanag naman that yung mahihirap na regions natin, Bicol, Samar, Leyte, and Caraga, that are all dependent on coconut. Kaya ito dapat bigyan natin ng special na atensyon sa agricultural. Ito mga ito, lugar na ito, walang conflict yan sa sinasabi natin. But we need to increase yung productivity of our coconut farms para kumita yung mga farmers natin. Yung pinakamahihirap na farmers nandiyan sa mga industry na yan. Now, sa crops na yan. Now, to me, maganda ngayon kasi tumataas ang commodities natin. Tayo lang ang nagpapataas ng presyo ng bigas eh. Masyado tayong hindi mataas. Naabot naman $1,000 per ton nung magkaroon ng crisis. Now I think we're buying about $600 per ton, which is still high. But to me, there are just minor things that can be done. Makukover na natin yung less than 10%. Hindi dapat nangyayari ito. Well, of course, I need not mention about the corruption issue. What happened is the fertilizer dapat natanggap ng farmer, hindi natanggap. Ngayon, to me, pagka may nahit ng bagyo, the government can afford to just give them the fertilizer for free. Kasi parang cash transfer na yan na pwede mo na ibigay na lang yan na dito. Hindi na kailangan bayaran kanila. Because unless we do this, we cannot encourage this farmer to plant. The biggest problem is wala nang kita ang mga magpapala. Hindi na sila magpapala.
Follow-up question. I think yung areas na sinabi niyo po, katulad ng Caraga, talagang ano yun, walang conflict sa housing. But I think where we see the conflict is yung mga Central Luzon, for example. Kasi ang Central Luzon is our rice granary, ano. And yet... Central
Luzon,
correct. Kasi ang Central Luzon po, napakalapit sa Metro Manila. And ang Metro Manila, lumalawak na eh. It's already moving already outside. So the incentive really of a lot of the farmers who used to plant in Central Luzon is really to sell out to the commercial. So
well, ang tingin ko naman, pwede din ang wala. I don't see any conflict. Sa tingin ko kasi, pag tinignan mo yung lugar, in fact, pag tinignan mo sa percentage of, for example, 3.7 billion ang backlog natin sa bahay. Saan mo sila ilalagay? Ako kasi squatter ako ng dati. Naramdaman ko rin walang bahay. Kaya, saan mo ilalagay yan? Hindi mo na pwedeng tapo na lang yan. And, ilalagay mo bahay. And that is not to be a good program. And we are not in low-cost housing. But to me, this can be done systematically. There are some countries that have fewer land areas. But proper zoning is the answer. Kailangan ng proper zoning. Kasi ano nangyayari dahil sa poverty, nagpupuntahan na sa Metro Manila. The bulk of the economy is in Metro Manila. That is why all the areas near Metro Manila ang nagkakaroon ng ganyan problems. For example, any problems like Bicol, wala naman ganyan problema. But it's only Metro Manila because the entire economy natin are in Metro Manila and Regions 3 and 4. Regions 3 and 4 because they are adjacent to Metro Manila. And this is because of poverty. Wala silang makain sa pupunta lang sa Maynila. And this is causing all of these problems. We must develop the countryside so that they will not have to go to Manila and add to the mess that we're having right now. We now have a big urbanization problem in Metro Manila. Hindi kaya ng sistema ng Metro Manila ito na nangyayari ito. So nagpupuntahan lahat. Kaya nagkakaroon ng sprawl. But even the sprawl is marami sa ating mga local officials kasi are not trained na urban planner. Kaya ang gulo. To me, when I look at the planning done in, yes, in some parts of Central Zone, chaotic Southern Luzon yun. Mas planado pa sa Southern Luzon kaysa sa Central Luzon. But with proper planning, all of this can be done. With the proper zoning, proper planning, you can accommodate all of these things. Some sectors need not be sacrificed for the other sectors. Like we can eat with while having home. We cannot adopt a policy na the only way we can eat is wala kayong bahay. There is no conflict between these two. Proper planning, proper implementation of this can address this problem. If you look at the statistics, you will see that kaya naman sa statistics, hindi lamang maayos yung parang nagiging chaotic sila. Kasi kulang tayo ng kalye na pag tingnan mo sa air, malaki pa yung lupa sa likod, pero nagsisiksikan dito. Nagsisiksikan sila sa iba. Because nandito lahat ng trabaho. If we succeed, and this should be a program of the next president, whoever he is or she is, but dapat i-push mo ang development sa countryside so that para ma-ease natin yung problema ng urbanization, the Great Convention of Manila. In itself, it is a huge problem that must be addressed. The poverty, especially sa mga slums at sa Great Convention of Manila, nakakaawa sa mga mga.
You have a final.
Before I leave agriculture, I look at, this is the first time that we should look at agriculture as an opportunity rather than a problem. In the past 2-3 decades, mga 70s, the last time we had the Green Revolution was in the 70s. But all over the world, hindi na consider na importante ang agriculture. Up until recently, nung magkaroon ng food crisis, kaya na, biglang suddenly, nagbabalikan na ang investments. But nagkakaroon na ng questions ng mga GMO kasi sa part-of the now, whether you want genetically modified crops, real, etc. But this is how other countries address their problems of food. But luckily for us, malaki pa ang allowance natin. We just have to manage agriculture and implement our programs. Kaya naman yan. Sa rice, ang kulang natin less than 10%. Madali yan.
Senator, I want to follow up on that province for migrating to Manila and Golden State.
Yeah.
Since galing po kayo sa House of Industry, ano po ang balak niyo po kayo sa programa ng mga village informal settlers, both rural and urban poor? Kasi malaki yung problema, magiging mataas na priority ba yun sa inyong administration, gaya ng priority ng Singapore na Malaysia, yung sa mga mass housing for poor.
Dalawa yung solution dyan. Number one is infrastructure. I think clearly naman this is my line of expertise. But what I want, ang gulo ng ating infrastructure eh. Pag tingin ng infrastructure natin, talaga chaotic to eh. Na dapat itama mo na. Sabi ko nga, kung pag sa tao to, pag inandyan lang, ang daming barak. For example, what I will immediately do is to connect SLEX sa MS. Kailangan makonect yung dalawa na yan. Kasi kung pupunta ka from Santa Rosa to Tala, ba't kailangan akong bumaba na EDSA? Dapat yan, tuloy-tuloy yan. Kasi hindi ka naman bababa sa Santa Rosa, pupunta ka sa Tala. And vice versa. Dapat ma-extend agad yung SLEX to Lucena para yung mga taga-Bicol para magbubang yung mabilis kasi walang traffic after Lucena hindi masyado. Tapos sa north, kailangan makarating na Rosario La Union. So that people here can go to Baguio very quickly. Pag-exit mo pala na Rosario La Union, Baguio na. And then yung mga people naman sa La Union and Region 1, Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, medyo mas madadali na mag-drive. Anong Tarlac and Pangasinan? Magbubumi yan kasi magkakaroon tayo ng main trunk initially. But we should, our ultimate objective is to have a new version of the Pan-Philippine Highway ng President Marcos, yung from Tubigaraw to Mindanao. But sisimulan mo na yung back, yung trace, yung foundation yan. But very quickly, the first 100 days, gagawin mo na lahat ng kontrata niya because you have to show that your term will not be corrupt. I have a